Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Cricket Rockstar Show. Ladies and gentlemen, मैं हूं Tyrell Odin, आपका पसार जे खुशीपुर Cricket Rockstar पर. Day number 14 of the FIFA Men's World Cup 2026 delivered 6 massive group stage encounters and plenty of drama as Groups A, B and C concluded their campaigns. The day action began in Group B where Switzerland defeated Canada by 2-1 to secure top spot in the group. Ruben Vargas opened the scoring immediately after halftime for the Swiss before Johan Mazambi doubled the advantage. Canada, however, did fight back through Promise David in the 76th minute but could not find another goal to equalize the score. In the end, Swiss end up finishing the top of Group B with 4 points. Canada, or should I say they finished with 5 points. Canada did, however, finish with 4 points. Had they had won this game, they would have stayed in Canada and gone to the top of the table where they would have played their round of 32 match on home soil. But nevertheless, they now go to Los Angeles to play South Africa in the first match of the round of 32. Which does mean, let's move across to the other Group B clash very quickly. Bosnia and Herzegovina, for the first time in history, they have kept their hopes alive. And for the first time in history, as I just mentioned, have qualified for the second round in the FIFA Men's World Cup following a convincing 3-1 victory over Qatar earlier today. The result, however, did mean that Switzerland finished first in the group, while Canada also progressed to the knockout stage for the first time in their FIFA World Cup history as well. The evening session shifted to Group C as the Brazil produced another dominant display, defeating Scotland 3-0 to comfortably secure first place in Group C. The Brazilians, the Samba boys, continued controlled possession, and created better chances, but never really looked threatening as like how they used to be before. But at the same time, talking about Group C with Brazil and Scotland, the other two components in the same group, Morocco, they finished in second place after completing an entertaining 4-2 victory over Haiti over in Atlanta. Morocco's attacking quality was on full display as they scored 4 times to secure qualification for the round of 32. This is their second time Morocco qualifies for the second round. Remember the last time in Qatar, they made it all the way to the final four and ended up, I think, finishing either third or fourth, if I'm not mistaken, back then. But already, Morocco is looking threatening. Brazil, they're finally waking their tails up after a disappointing 1-1 draw with the Moroccanians in the first game. Haiti, as they exit the FIFA World Cup, they need to hold their heads very high. It was a spirited effort, but the highlight from the Morocco-Haiti match, I must point out, was when they scored a goal in the FIFA World Cup for the first time in over 52 years. That's right. 52 years it took Haiti to score its first World Cup goal. And that wasn't all. They not only scored once, they scored twice, which is a huge effort. Even better than how Trinidad and Tobago did when they went to Germany in 2006. They didn't win a goal but drew 1 game and lost 2. But I'm not here to talk about the Soca Warriors or to talk down bad about them. We're talking about the Haitians, and I'll be honest, they did have a spirited World Cup campaign despite being knocked out in the first round. At least they were there and put up a lot of effort and fight. But nevertheless, Brazil, they finished at the top of the table with 7 points, so as Morocco. But Brazil finished number 1 with a better goal difference compared to Morocco. Scotland, they finished in third place and most likely they wouldn't be going through to the round of 32. As for Haiti, well, they leave the World Cup with their heads high, and I'll be honest with you, they showed a lot of fight despite not winning any games, to say the least. And then the final matches of the day came from Group A, which produced huge implications. Now, coming into the last day of Group A action, South Africa, they had their backs against the wall because had Korea defeated the Bafana, they would have gone through alongside Mexico. Now, Mexico came into their last game against Czech Republic, known as Czechia, knowing that they already was going to be in the round of 32, finishing Group A in the number 1 position. They completed a perfect 100% winning record from their group stage campaign with a 3-0 victory over Czechia in front of a jam-packed crowd in Mexico City, in front of their home supporters. After a bit of a cagey first half, L3 went into another gear in come the second half and scored 3 unanswered goals to maintain their undefeated record and finish top of the group with 9 points. That is absolutely phenomenal for the co-host Mexico, who might just make it to the round of 16 or the quarterfinals. You never know, because we've seen in the past how CONCACAF teams are known to flop when it comes to the next round or so. As for Czech Republic, they've had what must be termed as a very dismal, disappointing World Cup campaign. They secured 1 draw against South Africa, but the others were 2 defeats. They could have tried their very best to defeat South Korea, but failed under pressure. Mexico, they had no answers for them. Let me just say, it was absolutely dominant display for Mexico in the second half after a disappointing first period where both teams wasn't getting into the best of groups. But nevertheless, as I just said with Czechia, they failed to create any meaningful opportunities and were left waiting for nothing. They're virtually out of the competition, to say the least. They can't even wait for anybody. The only thing they could wait for is for a flight back home. But as for L3, they looked like one of the strongest teams in the tournament. Or should I say, not just Mexico alone. The United States and Canada, their 2 other co-hosts, have been doing brilliantly well, to say the least, because they know these conditions. This is their home court advantage. The only way those 3 countries can make it far is either by the round of 16 or the quarterfinals. I do not expect them to go that far unless they play a perfect game. Meanwhile, in Montreal, South Africa, who I mentioned, was at one stage going home had they had drew with South Korea or lost to them. They pulled off a huge surprise. They somehow, for the first time in history, will be heading to the second round in FIFA Men's World Cup. You know, I always love to praise South Africa when it comes to the cricket, but their football is underrated. They produced a huge surprise of the day. They defeated South Korea 1-0. Korea entered this match knowing that a point or victory against Bafana would help them get into the second round, but South Africa produced a very disciplined defensive performance and somehow found the breakthrough in the 63rd minute to claim all 3 unanswered points. Yes, this means Korea Republic will now be waiting on other results to see if they finish as one of the best 3rd place teams. We could get information on that somehow along the line, but the result for South Africa at the end of what has been a very exciting Group A standings, they somehow go through alongside Mexico. Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, 16 years ago or so, South Africa, when they had their home World Cup, they drew with Mexico. They lost to France. They failed to get past the first round. 16 years later, mark your calendars, Bafana are into the next round. So to all my followers in South Africa who follow cricket religiously, support your Bafana team. If you love Proteas, support the Bafana. Big up South Africa. Now Korea will have to wait to see what happens if they go through as one of the 2 best placed teams. Remember, they lost to Mexico. They lost to South Africa. So there's a possibility that they may crash out of the first round, because we've seen in the past how Asian teams, like African teams in the last couple of editions, have been pulling up surprises here and there. Mexico go through. They're playing at home. Canada go through. They're playing in Los Angeles because they lost home court advantage. The US go through. They have home court advantage. So all CONCACAF teams that have gone through so far, they have the psychological advantage. As for the other teams, especially for the big guns, who knows? They should look to get through with ease. But so far, all we know is that the remaining teams are awaiting confirmation of their knockout status. If you look at the statistics, ladies and gentlemen, from today, Wednesday the 24th of June, 18 goals were scored across 6 matches, which is an average of 3 goals per game. The biggest margin belonged to Brazil and Mexico, both recording 3-0 victories, while Morocco produced the highest scoring performance with 4 goals against Haiti. Switzerland finished atop of Group B with 7 points after their victory over Canada, while Mexico completed a flawless 100% winning campaign with 3 from 3. Brazil and Morocco, they advance out of Group C after finishing the group stage strongly. But as we head to the final stages in the remaining group fixtures and the beginning of the round of 32, which is on Sunday, the World Cup continues to intensify with a lot of high-stakes drama, which continues to rise. And right here on my YouTube channel, the Cricket Rockstar Plus Show, we will keep you guys covered along the way. Now, as every day till Saturday, there's 6 games per day. Look out for post-match reviews moving forward. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, follow me on all of my social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram, TJ Ordine Official, Twitter /X TJ Ordine, and my TikTok, TJ Ordine -official. So until then, my friends, be good, be cool, stay frosty, and the only thing more than hate is love. Mwah! Take care and good night and goodbye.